President Vladimir Putin, distinguished representatives of the media, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to welcome His Excellency President Vladimir Putin to India for the 2012 India-Russia Annual Summit. President Putin is a valued friend of India and the original architect of the India-Russia strategic partnership. I conveyed to President Putin our deep appreciation for his long-standing and personal commitment to this unique partnership. This morning, we undertook an extensive review of our multifaceted bilateral cooperation, especially in energy, defense, space, trade and investment, science and technology, education, culture and tourism. The documents signed during this visit will further strengthen the framework for our cooperation. The development of our nuclear energy program has been a key pillar of our strategic partnerships. Construction of Unit 1 of the Kudankulam nuclear power project is now complete and power generation will commence very shortly. India appreciates deeply the support extended by Russian engineers and scientists in this project. Forward to the completion of Unit 2 of Kudankulam project next year. Negotiations for the construction of Units 3 and 4 at Kudankulam have made good progress. We intend to continue implementing the roadmap for cooperation in the nuclear energy sector that was signed during President Putin's visit in 2010 as the then Prime Minister of Russia. Our energy cooperation also extends to the oil and natural gas sectors. I conveyed to President Putin India's interest in deepening cooperation in this area, including through mutual investments and joint projects in third countries. Russia is a key partner in our efforts to modernize our armed forces and enhance our defense preparedness. A number of joint design, development and production projects are underway in high technology areas. We expressed satisfaction that these projects are progressing well. I congratulated President Putin on Russia's accession to the World Trade Organization. Russia's deeper integration into the global economy will present more opportunities for the business communities in both countries. Our bilateral trade has grown by over 30% this year. There is still vast untapped potential in areas such as pharmaceuticals, fertilizers, mining, steel, information technology, civil aviation, telecommunications, infrastructure, food processing, innovation and services which we will work to explore and exploit. We have asked our intergovernmental and business level groups to recommend specific steps for enhancing bilateral trade and investment flows. Our science and technology cooperation remains robust. President Putin and I welcome the operationalization of the India-Russia joint science and technology centers in India and Russia, which can assist the development and commercialization of promising technologies, including the nanotechnology, biomedicine, and supercomputing. I particularly welcome the agreement on cooperation in using the GLONASS satellite navigation system that has just been signed. We also discussed regional and global issues on many of which there is a marked congruence in our approach. Our consultations in the international fora such as the UN Security Council and BRICS have deepened during the year. I congratulated President Putin on Russia's assumption of the chair of Group of 20. We look forward to working closely with Russia in promoting reform of global economic and international structures of governance. This year marks the 65th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Russia. We deeply value Russia's steadfast friendship and support for India unaffected by global developments. This relationship has a special place in the hearts and minds of the people of India, and India remains committed to further deepening it. I once again extend a very warm welcome to President Putin and his delegation and wish him and the friendly people of Russia the very best for the new year. Thank you very much.
Russia and India are connected by bonds of strategic partnership, but let me note that these bonds are of great trust. I am pleased to say that our partner is achieving great results because the rate of economic development of India is the highest in the world, and of course it cannot be achieved but for the efforts of Mr. Singh and his government. It allows us to achieve concrete results in bilateral relations. Today we have held very substantial and constructive dialogue on almost all areas of our cooperation. But of even greater importance was the preparatory work carried out by our experts in preparation for today's. Due to this joint work, we managed to achieve the signing of a number of important documents, and you witnessed with your own eyes the final results of this work. These results demonstrate our mutual aspiration to develop political dialogue, investment, trade relations, scientific and technical cooperation, and people-to-people contacts. Throughout these 65 years since the signing of the agreement on establishing diplomatic relations, our links have transformed in the special and privileged strategic partnership. In 2011, the amount of mutual trade accounted for almost $9 billion. This year, it will probably achieve the benchmark of $10 billion, and in the nearest future, we are to increase the mutual trade turnover by double-fold. Of great importance is that structure of Russia-India export and import exchanges is predominated by high-tech goods amounting to 50%. This year saw the 40% increase of exports to the Indian markets of cars, equipment and chemicals by Russia. We agreed to facilitate investment interaction. I believe that memorandum signed today between the Direct Investment Fund of Russia and State Bank of India will create additional stimuli to expand mutually beneficial cooperation, including between small and medium enterprises. Here I am referring to the creation of the efficient mechanism to co-finance promising investment projects with a total amount of almost $1 billion. Russia and India are implementing large-scale projects in the energy sector. Indian companies participate in the extraction of oil and gas fields, including the Far East region and Sakhalin. Mr. Prime Minister has mentioned already the successful work carried out in cooperation in the field of nuclear power and the construction of the Kudankulam nuclear power plant. Enterprises are working on the construction of thermal and hydropower plants to meet the energy needs of the Indian population. In August, Gazprom made an agreement for 20-year supplies of LNG with the amount of 2.5 million tons a year. The cooperation in the pharmaceutical sector is deepening. Russian company Pharm-Eco signed today, together with Indian partners, memorandum on joint construction of the modern biotechnical plant to produce medical drugs with a total investment amounting to $1 million. $100 million. Sibur Holding is going to start in 2014 the production of petrochemicals in Jamnagar city, with the prospective investments amounting to $450 million. There are great opportunities for cooperation in the heavy industry. Severstal is working on the implementation of the project to construct the metallurgical smelter. It will be constructed in the Karnataka state, and the total capacity will amount to 2 million tons. The volume of capital investment is assessed at the level of $1.8 billion. We agreed to further strengthen close cooperation between Russia and India in the field of military and technical interaction. We agreed to promote new projects, including in the area of establishing joint ventures and transfer of technologies. An important step in this direction is signing of the contracts to supply helicopter equipment and supplying spare parts for the licensed assembly factories of aircraft.
Су-30 МКА.
Su-30 MKA.
Интенсивно развиваются межрегиональные связи.
Interregional links are developing actively.
Наиболее активно сотрудничают с Индией Москва, Санкт-Петербург, Волгоград, Казань, Астраханская, Самарская область, Алтайский край.
Moscow, St. Petersburg, Volgograd, Kazan, Astrakhansk, Samara regions and Altai regions are the most active in cooperation with India.
Нынешний год был богат на масштабные мероприятия в гуманитарной сфере.
This year has been rich in large-scale events in the people-to-people contacts,
Это фестиваль российской культуры в Индии,
including the Festival of Russian Culture in India,
Дни Москвы в Нью-Дели,
the Days of Moscow in New Delhi,
первый всероссийский фестиваль современного кино и культуры Индии.
the first Pan-Russian Festival of Modern Movie and Culture of India.
В общих интересах, чтобы энергично развивались контакты между гражданами наших стран.
It is in our common interest to actively develop contacts between the nationals of our countries.
Индия становится все более популярным местом отдыха для наших туристов.
India is becoming even more popular destination for our tourists.
В 2012 году это 160 тысяч человек.
In 2012, 160,000 people visited India.
Подробно обсуждали и международную тематику.
We thoroughly discussed the international agenda.
Хочу поблагодарить наших индийских друзей за поддержку России при вступлении во Всемирную торговую организацию.
I would like to thank our Indian friends for support rendered to Russia in our accession to the WTO.
Особое внимание мы традиционно уделяем нашему сотрудничеству в ООН, в БРИКС, группе 20.
Particular attention is traditionally attached to our cooperation in UN, BRICS, SCO, and G20.
И в заключение хочу поблагодарить господина премьер-министра за открытый, очень конструктивный диалог, который сегодня у нас состоялся.
In conclusion, let me thank Mr. Prime Minister for constructive open dialogue which took place today.
Уверен, что диалог между Индией и Россией, высокое качество наших отношений будут сохраняться на ближайшую перспективу. И не только сохраняться, но и развиваться на благо народов наших стран.
I'm convinced the high level of dialogue and the high level of relations between Russia and India will be preserved and developed further for the benefits of our countries
И на благо наших народов.
and for the benefits of our peoples.
Спасибо большое.